At 2:47 a.m., I found my sister's husband lying shirtless in my bed arms behind his head, smirking like he owned the place. My bedroom door had been locked. I screamed. He didn't even flinch. Just said, "Relax. I thought this was your idea." My sister was in the next room, and guess who she believed? You ever think you're finally putting your life back together, only to realize someone else is quietly tearing it apart behind your back? That was me last November. My name's Lacey. I just ended a messy 6-year relationship, sold off my half of a condo, and moved into my sister's guest room just for a while. Her name's Clarissa. Fitness junkie, queen of protein, shakes, obsessed with those pastel motivational quotes. Her husband, Trent, was one of those nice guys with zero boundaries and way too many inside jokes with other women. They lived in a big dumb house in Bellevue, Washington, filled with houseplants, neon signs, and passive-aggressive silence. I knew something was off in week 2. Trent kept showing up at weird times, popping into the kitchen when I was in a towel, accidentally brushing past me in the hallway. Once he leaned over while I was eating cereal and whispered, "You always chew that slow?" Creepy, but subtle. The kind of crap you try to ignore because your brain tells you, don't be dramatic. Don't start trouble. Until the night I woke up with a feeling. You know that feeling when you're being watched. That night, it wasn't a feeling. It was real. I opened my eyes and saw Trent in my bed. Not near it. Not walking past it. In it. No shirt. Just basketball shorts. Arms behind his head like he was on vacation. "What the hell are you doing?" I screamed so loud my throat hurt. He blinked calmly. "Jesus, relax. It was a joke. You look cold." My door had been locked. I checked it every night. I scrambled out of bed and grabbed the lamp. "Get out. Now." He stood up slowly, hands raised like I was the one being unreasonable. Clarissa stormed in 5 seconds. Later, she saw me shaking. She saw Trent shirtless. She saw the mess. And you know what she said? "Lace, seriously? What is this? Are you having another episode?" I swear my soul almost left my body. I shouted, "He was in my bed." Trent shrugged. "Babe, I thought she invited me. She's been kind of flirty lately." I felt like the floor cracked open. Are you out of your ******ing mind? Clarissa looked between us, and then she rolled her eyes. "You need help," she told me. "You're not okay." She believed him, and worse, she thought I was making it up for attention. Later that night, I packed a bag and left. Didn't even wait for morning. I crashed at my coworker's place. Slept on an air mattress in a laundry room. Every sound made me jump. Every text from my sister made my stomach twist. She kept messaging. "I don't know what you think happened, but you need to stop." Trent said, "You came on to him. I love you, but this is toxic." Toxic. That word people throw at you when they want to silence you without looking like the villain. I tried to move on. Until 4 days later. I got a voicemail. Blocked number. Deep male voice. "Should have kept your mouth shut. You just made things worse." No name. No context. But I knew that voice. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I set up a baby monitor I found in my coworker's attic. Hooked it to my phone. Pointed it at the only door in the laundry room. I had no idea how real things were about to get. 2 nights later, 1:53 a.m., the motion alert buzzed on my phone. I opened the app. There was a figure standing at the laundry room door. Still. Silent. Just watching the camera. They didn't try to handle. They just stood there for 22 seconds, then walked away. I couldn't breathe. I rewatched the footage 30 times. It was grainy, but I knew that walk. I called the police, filed a report, showed them the voicemail and the footage. The officer asked, "Do you have proof it's him?" I stared at him. "Are you serious?" He nodded. "We'll log the report. But unless there's a direct threat or break-in, there's not much we can do." You ever feel like you're screaming underwater? Like the world hears you, but not enough to care? That was the moment I realized no one was coming to save me. So I had to save myself. I ordered a motion trigger camera, bought pepper spray, slept with a screwdriver under my pillow, and started writing everything down. Every message, every voicemail, every shadow. Because if no one was going to believe me, I'd make damn sure they couldn't ignore me. The worst part? Clarissa hadn't even texted. Not to ask if I was okay. Not to check if I was alive. But I knew one thing for sure. Trent wasn't done with me. Not even close. And if he thought I'd stay quiet forever, he was about to learn what happens when a woman has nothing left to lose. I didn't go to work the next day, didn't shower, didn't eat. I just sat on that air mattress, knees pulled to my chest, phone in my hand replaying the video of the shadow at my door over and over again. 22 seconds. Still as death. Then it moved. Turned away like it had never been there. But it was. And no one believed me. The next morning, I sent the footage to my sister. I didn't say anything. No accusations. No long rants. Just the video. Just that. She didn't respond for 6 hours. When she finally did, it was a single text. Wow, you really need help. That was it. No. Who is that? No. Are you okay? No. I'm sorry. Just another attempt to paint me as insane. I called her, straight to voicemail. Then, 2 hours later, a message from Trent's number popped up. If you send her anything else, I'll file a harassment suit. A harassment suit. The man who snuck into my room and got in my bed was threatening legal action. I was shaking so hard I dropped my phone. My coworker Tori walked in and saw me sitting on the floor like a corpse. She didn't ask questions. She just said, "You're coming with me." We drove 2 towns over to a police station in Redmond. Tori said maybe a different precinct would take it more seriously. They didn't. The officer, a woman, for once watched the footage, listened to the voicemail, and nodded slowly. "I believe you," she said. "But unless he breaks in, touches you, or makes an explicit threat, there's nothing we can do." I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was insane. So I have to wait until he hurts me. Silence. She handed me a pamphlet. Consider filing for a protective order. Start documenting everything. Texts, calls, anything. I wanted to scream. Instead, I nodded. We drove back in silence. That night, I started writing. Not a Reddit post. Not yet. Just everything that had happened, in order. Dates, times, screenshots, voice memos. I printed it out. Put it in a folder. If anything happened to me, someone would find it. I wasn't going to disappear quietly. 2 days passed. No text. No sightings. Just a nauseating silence that made me jump at the sound of my own breathing. Then at 4:12 a.m., I woke up in a cold sweat. Something had buzzed. Motion alert. I grabbed my phone. Opened the app. And there he was, standing at the bottom of the stairs in the backyard. Arms crossed, staring up at the camera. I froze. He didn't move. Didn't blink. Just watched. Then he smiled, turned, walked into the darkness. Gone. This time, the camera had audio. You could hear his footsteps. His breathing. You could hear him whisper, "You don't know when to stop." I sent the footage to the police. Again. Filed another report. Again. And started filling out the paperwork for a protection order. I hadn't seen my sister in almost a week. But that night, I got a call from her. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice was tight, controlled, almost robotic. "Trent said you're trying to ruin his life, that you're harassing him. He's considering pressing charges. Honestly, I don't know who you are anymore. You need serious help. And stay away from us." Us. Like they were a team. Like I was the enemy. I cried for 20 minutes, not because of Trent, because my sister, my big sister, the one who used to sing me to sleep when I had nightmares, had turned her back on me for a man who whispered at my door in the dark. I needed air. I stepped outside. Middle of the night. No shoes. Just my hoodie. And that's when I noticed the mailbox was open. There was a photo. Inside. Printed. Color. It was me. Standing in the kitchen of Tori's house, wearing pajama shorts and a tank top, taken through the window. From outside. The time stop in the corner said 2:03 a.m. There were no words, no message. Just a photo, but the message was clear. I see you. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw up. But instead, I acted. I posted the footage. The photo. The story, anonymously, on Reddit. Changed. The names. The city. The details. But not the truth. I needed anyone to see it. To say, "You're not crazy." And they did. Thousands of people did. I never expected it to go viral, but it did. Because apparently, I wasn't the only one who'd ever been gaslit by a predator with a perfect smile. And then my sister texted me again. "You posted that online? Are you insane?" People at his work saw it. He could get fired. I didn't respond because it wasn't about him anymore. It was about me. And survival. You ever feel like you're screaming and no one hears you? Like you're begging people to see the fire, and they just shrug and say, "Must be a warm breeze"? That's what living felt like that week. After I posted everything anonymously on Reddit. It exploded. I didn't name names, but people put it together anyway. The post hit over 30,000 upvotes in 2 days. Comments flooded in, messages from strangers. Women saying, "This happened to me too." People thanking me for speaking out. Some asking for updates, like it was entertainment. But this wasn't. A thriller. This was my actual life, and it was unraveling fast. Torai my coworker, and only Safe Haven was supportive. At first, she believed me, protected me, installed better locks. But viral attention has a cost. People started recognizing her house in the background of one of the photos. She got spooked. Rightfully. One night she sat me down and said, "Lace, I love you, but I have kids. I can't let this bleed into my family. You need to go." Just like that, I was out. Nowhere to sleep. Nowhere safe. I crashed in my car the first night. Windows up, knife in my hoodie pocket, keys between my fingers. I didn't sleep. I dared myself to blink. But even with all that, nothing prepared me for what happened. Next. The second night, I got a text from my sister. "Congratulations, he got suspended." That was it. No punctuation. No context. Like she was blaming me for something I didn't cause. I responded. "He was stalking me." She hit back immediately. "You humiliated us. You dragged our lives into the gutter for karma. You're disgusting." Disgusting? I reread that text 100 times, my heart pounding. She still didn't believe me. No dash worse dash, she believed me, and she didn't care. That's when the irony hit me like a truck. I was the one hiding, jobless, couch hopping, while the man who violated me got sympathy. How is that real life? I wanted to scream. So I got in the middle of a Walmart parking lot. At 1:17 a.m., I screamed into the void like a banshee. No one looked. No one cared. Until someone did. Because the very next night, I don't even know how to write this. I caught him inside Torai's house. Let me explain. I'd left my charger there in the rush to move out. Torai said I could swing by while she was out. She left the door unlocked behind the store door, like always. I walked in, called out, "Torai." Just to be safe. Silence. I stepped inside, and the house felt wrong. Too quiet. Got too still. I moved toward the kitchen, and that's when I saw it. The back door was open. The wind had blown it ajar, and standing in the hallway was Trent. No mask. No disguise. Just in the house. Looking at me, I froze. He didn't. He smiled. "I just wanted to talk," he said calmly, like this was a coffee date and not a horror movie. "You're not supposed to be here." I shouted. He stepped forward. "You ruined everything, Lacey. All I ever did was care about you." I grabbed the nearest thing, a candle holder, and threw it. It shattered against the wall. I ran out the front door, down the street, screaming. Neighbors came out. Someone called the cops. He vanished before they arrived. Again, of course, because predators know how to disappear like smoke. The police wrote another report. This time, they took fingerprints. Interviewed Torai. Said they patrol the area more often. You want to guess how long they stayed? 10 minutes. Then it was just me and silence and a shattered sense of reality. How was this still happening? How was he still free? Why did I feel like the criminal? The next morning, I got an email. No. Subject line. No body text. Just an attachment. A photo of me. Again, this time sleeping on Torai's couch. Hoodie pulled over my head. Arms wrapped around my knees. Taken from inside the house. That was the moment something in me snapped. Not fear. Not sadness. Pure rage. He was playing a game? Fine, let's play. After that photo me asleep, taken from inside the house, I stopped being scared. I started getting angry. The kind of anger that burns cold. That doesn't scream or cry. The kind that plots. I was done being the prey. If he wanted a game, fine, I'd play. But this time, I was setting the rules. I called my cousin Cole. Ex-military, no filter. No patience. He was at my door within an hour. I showed him everything. The photos, the videos, the Reddit post, the text, the break-in. He didn't ask if I was exaggerating. He just said, "We're catching this sick bastard." We got to work. First, we bought a full-blown home security system, motion sensors, silent alarms, cameras with night vision, and a backup power source in case he tried to cut electricity. We wired every entrance, Every hallway. Every room. Then we created debate. I moved back into Torai's house for one night. She was out of town. Her husband agreed after I showed him everything. Said, make him pay. So I staged the house like I was living there again. Lights on. Dishes in the sink. Shoes by the door. And I waited. Knife in one hand. Panic button in the other. Cole hidden upstairs. Phone recording. GoPro on his chest. It took 3 nights. But on the third, 2:44 a.m. the back door creaked open. He came in like he belonged. There, wearing gloves. No mask. He walked straight into the kitchen, looked around, and whispered, Lacey. I stepped out of the shadows, flashlight in his face. Game's over, Trent. He froze. Too late. Cole launched from the stairs like a thunderclap, tackled him to the ground, pinned his arm behind his back so fast Trent screamed. The camera caught everything. I hit the silent alarm. Cops were there in 5 minutes, and for once they listened. He was arrested on the spot, charged with trespassing, violating a restraining order, and harassment. The next 24 hours were a blur. Statements, reports, questions. You know what they found in his car? A crowbar, duct tape, zip ties, a burner phone. Suddenly everyone started taking it seriously. Detectives, prosecutors, even reporters. It was no longer just my word against his. It was evidence. But you know who didn't call? Clarissa. Not a word. No text. No voicemail. Not even a damn emoji. I thought maybe she was in shock. Maybe ashamed. Maybe finally waking up from the fantasy. I was wrong, because 3 days later, while Trent sat in jail, she posted a photo on Instagram. Smiling. Caption. Not everything is as it seems. Hashtag healing. Hashtag truth will come out. Excuse me? Her husband had just been arrested for stalking, breaking in, and possibly planning an abduction, and she's posting vague influencer bullshit. T? I snapped. I called her. Straight to voicemail. So I texted her. Are you serious right now? You're still defending him? She responded. You humiliated me. You ruined my life. I hope you're happy. My hand shook with rage. Your life? He climbed into my bed. He stalked me for months. He took photos of me sleeping. And I ruined your life. I nearly smashed my phone against the wall. Instead, I replied with one sentence. One day you'll realize who the monster really was. She didn't answer, but I know she read it. Meanwhile, the court process kicked in. The day offered a plea deal, 18 months probation, mandatory therapy, no contact order extended to 5 years. He'd avoid jail time, but he'd have a permanent criminal record. I was furious. That's it? You stalk a woman, break into homes, creep around with zip ties and a burner phone, and you walk free? The prosecutor said, this is the best we can do unless he physically hurts someone. There it was again. That word. Physically. As if trauma doesn't count unless it leaves. Bruises. I took the deal. Not because I wanted to, but because I was tired. Tired of reliving it. Tired of fighting. Tired of proving my fear to people who still didn't get it, but I wasn't done. Because even if the law let him walk, I wouldn't. After the plea deal, I didn't celebrate. I didn't breathe easy. I didn't feel safe. He was out there, free, no jail time. Just watching, maybe, waiting, planning. And the people who were supposed to love me, gone. Torai moved away. Cole shipped, out for a contract job. My parents didn't know the full story. They thought it was a misunderstanding. And Clarissa, my sister, she posted a throwback photo of her and Trent at a vineyard with the caption, Love doesn't vanish. It's stolen. Stolen? I couldn't even process it anymore. She wasn't in denial. She was choosing him. So I did what I hadn't done. In weeks. I vanished. Deleted my socials. Cut ties. Rented a month-to-month cabin up north in Wenatchee. Small town. Mountains. No cameras. No locks to install. Just distance. And for a few days, it was calm, until I found the envelope. No postmark, no name. Slipped under the door during the night. Inside was a photo. Another one, but not of me, of Clarissa. She was walking into her gym. Purse in hand, alone. On the back, scrawled in blocky handwriting. She learned the hard way. My blood ran cold. For the first time in months, it wasn't about me. It was about her, and I still hated her. But I didn't want her dead. I drove 3 hours back to Bellevue, straight to her place. Banged on the door like it owed me money. She opened it, shocked. She looked pale, hollow. What the hell? I shoved the photo into her chest, He's watching you now. Happy. Her hand trembled as she read it. Her knees buckled. She collapsed right there in the doorway. I helped her inside. Set her on the couch. She was sobbing loud, gasping sobs. The kind that don't sound real. I didn't know, she whispered. I stood over her. Yes, you did. You just didn't care. She didn't argue, didn't defend him, didn't blame me. Once she just listened. It took her 20 minutes to say anything else. I got scared. I thought if I kept siding with him, he'd leave me alone. I laughed bitterly. How'd that work out? She nodded slowly. He's gone off the rails. Gone? He'd never even been on them. She pulled out her phone and showed me missed calls from private numbers. Voicemails with breathing. A box of ripped photos in her mailbox. All from the last 3 days. He wants revenge, she said quietly. On both of us. I stared at her. For the first time, I saw it. The fear, the cracks. The truth. She wasn't. Just a blind idiot. She was a victim too. I called the detective. Sent over the photo. The timeline. The voicemail. They added it to the case, but no one could find him. Trent was still gone. And that's when the twist came. It was a week later. I was back at the cabin. Raining, cold. I sat on the porch with a hoodie and a cheap bottle of whiskey, feeling like every horror movie's last girl. That's when I heard it. A knock. I froze. Grabbed the pepper spray, opened the door a crack, and there he was. But it wasn't Trent. It was a guy in uniform. Marine. Late 20s. Buzz cut. Muscular. Calm eyes. Hey, he said. You Lacey? My heart was in my throat. Who wants to know? He smiled slightly. Name's Evan. I'm Cole's friend. He sent me to check in. Check in? I blinked. Like, check on me. He nodded. He said you'd never ask for help, but you probably need it. For the first time in months, I laughed. A real stunned laugh. I stepped back. Well, you're not wrong. Evan walked in like a human wall of calm energy. No judgment, no nerves, just quiet observation. He poured himself a drink, sat across from me, and listened to everything. I told him the story. All of it. He didn't flinch once. Then he leaned back and said, sounds like you're still waiting for someone to rescue you. I stared. He continued, that guy made you the hunted. You don't just need distance. You need control. He pulled out a folder, photos, maps, records. He'd been tracking Trent. I do recon for a private firm, he said. Cole tipped me off. I couldn't believe your story until I read it all. I think I know where he is. My stomach flipped. What? There's a cabin near the Oregon border, rented in a fake name. But I matched the handwriting from that last note. How? He smirked. You'll be amazed what a handwriting comparison app in military boredom can accomplish. I was speechless. Evan stood up. I'm heading there tomorrow. You coming? I swallowed hard. Everything in me screamed. No. Stay safe. Stay hidden. But I thought about Clarissa. I thought about the photo. I thought about every moment I stared into a dark hallway wondering if I'd survive the night. And I nodded. Let's finish this. We left before sunrise. Evan drove. Calm, precise. One hand on the wheel, the other checking GPS coordinates from a burner phone. He didn't speak much. Just gave me glances now, and then those quiet, steady ones that said, you still sure about? This? I was. We crossed into Oregon around noon. Fog clung to the trees like secrets. The closer we got, the more I could feel it like static in my chest. My hand shook, but I didn't stop. After everything he did breaking in, creeping around my bed, turning my own sister against me, I needed to see it through. We pulled into a gravel path, barely wide enough for the Jeep. Cabin ahead, rust-colored, half hidden by pines. No neighbors, no cameras. One way in, one way out. Evan parked behind a fallen log. You don't have to go in, he said softly. I looked at him. You made me afraid in my own home. I stepped out. He followed. We crept through the brush, staying low. Every snapped twig felt like thunder. My breath was shallow, heart punching against my ribs. We reached the side window. Curtains drawn, but a sliver of light leaked through. Evan gestured wait, then handed me a phone, already recording. Proof, he whispered, in case. He circled around. I waited by the window, watching, listening. Then dash crashed. The back door splintered inward. Evan's voice boomed, hands where I can see them. I ran around to the front. And there he was. Trent. Disheveled, pale, reeking of fear, crouched in the corner. Like a roach caught under light. Evan held him down, knee in his back, zip ties around his wrists. I stood in the doorway, my chest tight, my vision blurry. Trent looked up and smiled. You came, he wheezed. Took you long enough. I froze. That grin, that unbothered, smug, monster smile. I missed you, Lace. We had something. Real. He didn't even flinch when Evan slammed him to the floor again. You were obsessed, I screamed. You terrorized me. His head lolled sideways. I just wanted to be close. I wanted to hit him. I wanted to end him. Instead, I stepped closer. Close? You broke into houses. You took photos of me sleeping. You threatened my sister. You left me with nothing but fear and rage and therapy bills. He stared silent, then said it. You liked it. That's when I snapped. I lunged forward, screaming, sobbing, fists clenched, but Evan caught me midair. No, he said, don't. Give him that power. I fell to my knees, shaking, rage flooding every cell. You're going to jail, Evan spat. You'll rot alone, Trent smiled. I always am. And that's when I saw a gun, in the corner. Under the blanket, he lunged for it fast, too fast, but I was faster. I grabbed the fireplace poker and swung full force. The sound it made will stay with me forever. Crack. He hit the floor. Out cold, blood pooling from the side of his head. Evan, kick the gun away. I told you, I whispered, shaking. I'm not the prey anymore. The cops arrived 20 minutes later. Trent survived? Barely. He's now in a secure facility. Under psychiatric and criminal evaluation. The charges stack like dominoes. Stalking, multiple restraining order violations, breaking and entering, and now attempted assault with a deadly weapon. This time, there will be no plea deal. No second chances. Just bars. And a padded cell. 2 months later. Clarissa, Ann. I sat outside a coffee shop. She looked different, smaller, but maybe it was just the weight of truth finally sinking in. I didn't know how far it would go, she said quietly. I stirred my drink. You didn't want to know. She nodded. You saved me. I'll never be able to repay that. I shrugged. Start by healing. Like I am. Because that's what I'm doing now. Healing. Therapy. Twice a week. No nightmares for 15 nights. A job again. A place of my own. And Evan? Yeah, he stuck around. He comes by on weekends. Doesn't try to fix me. Just sits with me on the couch. Quiet, present. Whole. I told him one night, you didn't rescue me. He smiled. I didn't have to. You did it yourself. One last thing. A month ago, I got another envelope. No return address. I almost tossed. It put curiosity one. Inside. A single photo. Me. Standing in a courtroom. Face determined. Eyes locked on Trent, taken from behind the glass. During his arraignment, on the back, one word scrawled in messy handwriting. Respect. I haven't heard from him since, but I know this. He saw me win. He saw me stand. And even he had to admit it. So now I ask you, if someone stalked you, destroyed your peace, gaslit your family, and smiled while doing it, would you show mercy? Or would you do what I did? Take your life back, one swing at a time. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought? Or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.